All right, that's our focus this morning, and we'll go over to Mark. Why
is El-Haji coming in the middle?
That's how I want it.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. I have joining me now Mohammed El-Haji Yakubu, who is a member of the Arawa Consultative Forum. You're welcome to Sunrise today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mark.
Now, just yesterday, we saw, 2 days ago, we saw this group, a coalition of some northern youths, relatively unknown group, really, but they met at the Arawa House. And one of the prominent groups, amongst them, why a lot of people frowned, was the Arawa Consultative, Arawa Youths, I think, according to them, who was also a part of that coalition. And they issued a threat to a certain section of this country, asking them to vacate the northern part of the country. And they used very, very strong words, to say the least. In most instances, it will be categorized as hate speech, in sending their message. What was your thinking when you saw this message by this group of young people?
Thank you very much, Mark. I'm going to talk to you today, talk to Nigerians as a Nigerian, not as a member of any group or ACF or so. As a concerned Nigerian, you could see what is important is the response that trailed that kind of pronouncement. You could see the response from our leaders, the northern governors, and leaders from the north. Yesterday, before I left Kaduna, the ACF, summoned an emergency meeting of its top leadership and elders of the north. You could see their pronouncements this morning in the papers condemning such proclamation, disassociating themselves from it, which is the right thing to do. And I'm further impressed by the proactiveness of leaders of the north. Yesterday, I was with a group of northern leaders, northern Kan leaders, and elders from the north that came on a courtesy call to the Senate President. And I'm so impressed by the remarks of the Senate President. These were some of the issues that were raised by the leaders of the northern Kan yesterday with the Senate President. I'm impressed by the remark of the Senate President informing them that, look, before now, they are already working and reaching out and making contacts to ensure that this kind of thing does not repeat itself again, to nip these kind of issues in the bud. If we have this kind of proactiveness, a lot of crises, a lot of issues in Nigeria would have been nipped in the bud. This is coming as a result of, I'm sorry to say, I was not impressed by some of our leaders and elders from the southeast. When IPOB gave a pronouncement of this sit at home, which was almost 80% or 85% complied with by the Southeasterners, our brothers in the Southeast. I expected leaders of the Southeast and our elders there to have prevailed on IPOB or to have called these our younger ones to see reason that, look, what you guys are trying to do, we've traveled this way. We've traveled this way and it's not the right path for you guys to follow. The young ones we have now are not the kind of young ones we used to have in those days, in our own days. They are not the kind of guys you just use force to dissuade them from whatever they want to do, from the agitations or whatever protest they have. So you need dialogue. You need to talk to them.
Would you say, in your estimation, because we read the statement of the group of young people from the north, I think they asked them whether or not they had spoken to the elders in the north, and they said, oh, they are part of the problem.
No way.
That was what they said.
No, I disagree with that.
Would you say that the response that we got was strong and decisive enough? Because first of all, much as, yes, a lot of people want to dismiss these people as being a group of people that are relatively unknown, apart from, say, the Arawa Youth Consultative Forum, this meeting held in the Arawa House.
And there's no way. Let me tell you one thing that you don't know. There is no way the Ariwa House would have known the kind of thing they want to do there. So to have stopped them from conducting their meetings there. Look at what happened in the southeast. This IPOB thing. Was it not in the southeast that they gave that pronouncement that everybody should sit at home?
We will talk about that.
I'm trying to tell you what precipitated what happened, what these younger ones said, this pronouncement they made in the north. If the kind of response that trailed, the kind of outburst, the kind of outrage that traced this pronouncement from these young youths from the north, if that kind of degree or that kind of pronouncement trailed the pronouncement of IPOB, we wouldn't have gotten to where we are now.
Why do you think that kind of reaction should trail the pronouncement of IPOB? I mean, first of all, they asked that people should sit at home. They did not ask people to leave a region. Why should the response to that be leave a certain region?
That's what I'm telling you now, that if the leaders of the Southeast and the elders of the Southeast have cautioned their younger ones, these are our younger ones, the reaction by these younger ones too from the North would have not been as bad as it is. Don't forget, if you remember what triggered the war, the civil war in the 60s, was lack of tolerance, lack of accommodation, lack of listening to one another.
Alhaji Yakubu, you say you're talking to me as a Nigerian this morning. I'm going to address you as a Nigerian as well.
Yeah.
When has the Civil War happened?
Yeah.
It's been how many years? It's been 50 years. We've seen...
no, it's not up to 50 years that the Civil War happened now. I think it's about 40-something.
Well, it was in 1967.
67. Okay, 67,
The war was fought for 3 years.
Yeah.
To about 69,
yeah.
Thereabouts, 1969, 1970. It was 50 years. I mean, many forums have marked 50 years
yeah, you're correct.
Of Biafra.
Yeah.
We lost quite a number of people on the Nigerian side, on the Biafran side.
Yeah.
Do you think that it is right as a nation